In the day's other news, a police chase in Georgia left 3 officers wounded and an Alabama man dead. The man's brother was taken into custody. The chase began outside Atlanta when state troopers pulled a car going 111 miles an hour. They say the driver took off again, and the other man opened fire on pursuing police. Shooting erupted this afternoon at a high school in Knoxville, Tennessee. Police say 1 male student was killed and an officer was wounded when he confronted an apparently armed suspect. That person was arrested. There is no word on a motive. On the pandemic, new numbers show 28% of the U.S. population is now fully vaccinated for COVID-19. At the same time, infections are rising again, with Michigan running the highest rate. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is pressing for more vaccine doses, but today the CDC said that won't solve the problem.
When you have an acute situation, extraordinary number of cases like we have in Michigan, the answer is not necessarily to give vaccine. In fact, we know that the vaccine will have a delayed response. The answer to that is to really close things down, to go back to our basics, to go back to where we were last spring, last summer, and to shut things down.
Meanwhile, the drug maker Regeneron reported that its antibody cocktail is 72% effective against COVID infections in the first week and 93% after that. The company is seeking U.S. regulatory approval. In Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky's office complained today that Russia is ignoring his request for talks with President Vladimir Putin. Ukrainian officials now estimate Russia has massed more than 40,000 troops along the frontier between the two countries, with another 40,000 in neighboring Crimea. President Biden ramped up his push today for a $2.3 trillion jobs and infrastructure package. He met with bipartisan lawmakers and said he's open to compromise with Republicans who've criticized the plan's spending and tax hikes.
I'm prepared to negotiate as to how the extent of my infrastructure project, as well as how we pay for it. But if we get in a serious conversation about how to do that, I think everyone acknowledges we need significant increase in infrastructure.
We'll go deeper into the politics and the prospects for the plan later in the program. The Treasury Department reports that the federal deficit hit $1.7 trillion for the first 6 months of this budget year. That is nearly twice the old record. It's fueled by pandemic relief spending. President Biden has issued a raft of new nominations to top government jobs. The police chief of Tucson, Arizona, Chris Magnus, is the pick for Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection. Former Pentagon official Christine Wormuth will be the first woman tapped for Secretary of the Army. And Anne Milgram is being nominated to lead the Drug Enforcement Administration. And on Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 55 points to close at 33,745. The Nasdaq fell 50 points and the S&P 500 slipped a fraction. Still to come on the news, Israel is suspected of destroying a power generator at a nuclear facility in Iran. A new book exposes how the Sackler family became a catalyst for the opioid crisis. Congress returns to business with the president's infrastructure bill on the table, plus much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.